Okay, here's a video for Gary Boyer and Ricky Britt of the pattern layout for the exterior fountain. And I've got all this drawn out in the driveway with chalk. You can see here's 12 o'clock and your 9-inch capstone. You got 3 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And here's dead center of the fountain. This is your 8-foot 3-inch tall vessel, and this is your 3-foot 9-inch vessel and your 5-foot 3-inch vessel. And the way I've determined the spacing of these, this is the drawing I'm going by that Gary sent me, and he's indicated 12 o'clock down here and 6 o'clock up here, just like we've got it on the driveway. Now in the drawing here, these dimensions on each pentagon is a little bit different than reality on my plywood patterns. So after we've established this center mark on the driveway, I have to figure out what's more important first. And I notice that the front edge of this 8-foot 3-inch vessel is parallel with the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock line. Parallel with this line here. And you can see up here that we've got this front edge on the pattern parallel with that line. Since these pentagons aren't perfectly to scale and don't match the plywood patterns, what I did here is I drew a line from this point to this point and call that the overall width. Then from the left-hand corner to the center, I come up with a dimension. And I set up a ratio left of center to the overall width. And I'll show you that on the plywood pattern. Here's our overall width from corner L to corner M, and how far off center it is from the white chalk line running in the driveway. So I set up a ratio since the scale isn't right, and I come up with that it's 58% left of center. From there I scaled it to the overall width of the plywood pattern and offset it the same percentage. I did this with all 3 vessels, and it was the best way I could determine to do this. The next critical thing I noticed is that these spill out points on the 2 shorter vessels, I tried to copy that angle in reference to the center line, our 6 and 12 o'clock line, which runs up this way. So we have matched the angle the best that I could, this edge to the center line and this edge to the center line. I also did the percentage and offset ratio the same as I just showed you on the 8-foot 3-inch vessel. And this is how I come to determine the spacing of these 3 patterns for the exterior fountain. I will lay some big sheets of brown paper on here and do a crayon rubbing of the holes, and I will cut it out, and I will put your crosshairs in the middle, our 6 and 12 o'clock line and our 9 and 3 o'clock line. I will indicate that on the paper of your center of the fountain. And I think that's about everything I was going to show you on this. I'll do a crayon rubbing of that and cut it out, mark it, and I will also label these points on the plywood pattern, these corners, corner E and D and everything. And now one other thing I wanted to mention and bring to your attention is that on this drawing that I'm going by, if you look way down in here, the mounting feet are coming off the corner of the vessel. But in reality, the mounting feet are going in the center of the side of the vessel, not coming out the corners. So I just wanted to let you know so no one gets confused on that. And I believe that's everything.